So let's talk about the Sleepwalker.
Yeah.
It's an archetype. It's in Dark Archives. Some of the tags you're likely to find as you dig through the Sleepwalker. You're dealing with enchantment. You're dealing with mental traits. You're dealing with the occult, divination, fortune, abjuration. Some of the inspiration I derive when I read through the Sleepwalker archetype, the graphic novel series The Sandman, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the movie Inception by Christopher Nolan. And I know that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But Inception as a movie. So all of these involve a Sleepwalker in my brain. So you can go into a trance to buff your will and mental saves. You can slip into someone's dream to uncover hidden information that they're concealing from you in the waking world. You can cast dream-related spells. That's fun. You can cast a focus spell, which is a waking dream, being able to manipulate other people's understanding of whether they are in the waking world or the non-waking world. Issues of the subconscious. You can implant suggestions within dreams, not necessarily like having coffee in the primaterial plane. Yeah. You can ward allies against dream magic. So all of those hags running around through the bestiary.
Hyper specific.
It's really hyper specific.
When it's a problem, God damn it, aren't you happy that you have a fucking Sleepwalker?
Again, I'm going to point back to archetypes being a way for players to hand tools for world building to the GM. If the GM doesn't use anything that the Sleepwalker archetype provides, the GM's not doing their job. So it needs to be there. If it's hyper specific, then it needs to be made applicable and general by the GM.
It's an invitation to the GM to make content for them.
Yeah, I think it's a requirement. But yes, yeah. Dream sharing, that's cool.
That's cool. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Dream sharing is cool. Wish we could do it.
Think about the adventures I like to play, the spy stories, absolutely. Espionage, the thrillers, and we can't talk. There's ears everywhere, and there are arcane means of divining our words. I'll meet you on the dream side.
Dream. Oh my God.
And I come find you in some shitty little nightmare where you're biting your pillow.
You know, this is like the fantasy version of Ready Player One.
Oh yeah. What do they call that? The lit RPG genre is chock-a-block full of this archetype.
Right.
Yeah. So Ready Player One, Player Two, and a few others. Many think of mental realms and mindscapes as rare and elaborate constructions, forgetting that everyone creates their own mental realm when they sleep. One where even the strongest occurrences seem perfectly normal. Anything's possible inside these dreamscapes, but few sapient creatures have the will and the insight to take control of that space and truly explore their unconscious mind. Sleepwalkers dedicate themselves to unlocking the secrets of the sleeping mind, taking control of their dreams, and walking through the slumbering vistas of others. Some are nefarious manipulators. Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. Whispering to the slumbering for personal gain. Others use their powers for good, seeking evildoers and those who corrupt dreams to nightmares. Sandman. As their power grows, a sleepwalker's appearance gradually becomes slightly indistinct, as though they were blurred around the edges, and those who encounter them find it difficult to recall exact details about their appearance. I made a comment in some other video once upon a time we did where there was a class I didn't like because it was the investigator, because it required the GM to behave in a certain way. It didn't give them the choice.
Because I played it.
I played it and then you played it, and I experienced it on both sides of the table, and it was just, it felt manipulative of the GM. This is the flip side of that coin. The GM needs to use this, but it doesn't feel like a manipulation thing. It's not like, tell me where the secret door is in this room because it's odd. You know, like the investigator might. This is more like fucking around with dreams. Tell me a story. Make me believe I'm actually seeing this when I'm actually dreaming it. Or am I dreaming it, but I'm actually seeing it in the waking world? The same? Neither. There's a lot of cool sort of mysteries you can run around in.
It's a cool challenge for your GM.
It's a big challenge, yeah. If they're up
and
for
I'd
it.
say that a little piece of advice for GMs who have to deal with this or something similar to it, believe it or not, the more vague you are, the better. Because if you're more vague, that means you can add detail in later. Especially you can let the player add that detail in and just acknowledge that.
Yeah, as long as
that's what happens.
As long as they're fair about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or if they pretend that they've seen something or had an experience, you can pull the rug out from underneath them. Yeah. And be like, no, that never happened. And they're like, oh, it's all a dream.
So I'm going to go back to my inspiration because I think that's really the crux of why this is like right smack dab in the middle of my top 5. The Sandman series, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Inception. I can't play those games in Dungeons and Dragons. I can't play them in Vampire: The Eternal Struggle. Maybe you can play them in Changeling: The Dreaming. I don't know. But this is a way for me to get that here in this system that I adore.
Pathfinder, yeah.